go ahead and head on over to the Strength Protocol Substack and find your way to the Block Strength article. Just go ahead and scroll all the way down to the bottom. You'll find the download for the program itself. This is an Excel file. Just click that button there. It'll pop up down here at the bottom. Open that up, and you'll be on the Start Here tab. So you'll notice a couple of arrows here on the left-hand side. You're just going to start at step one. So enter in your 1RMs for deadlift, back squat, bench press, overhead press. I'll use these four numbers to estimate 1 rep maxes for all of the other exercises, primary exercises, that is. You don't need to do a 1 rep max test. If you don't know your 1 rep max, you can use these calculators over here on the right-hand side. So for example, if I lifted a set of 225 for 5, that would put my estimated squat max at 262. I'm just going to type that in there. And then deadlift, let's call it 275, 321. Bench press, I'll just leave it 215, about 250, and we'll call it overhead press 175. So from there, go down to step 2, you can click on over to block 1. So if you watched the previous video, I went through how to read the sheet, how it's all set up, 3 days on one page, each tier, video links, sets, reps, what exercises and colors you do together. So for the purposes of the maxes, all of these numbers will be estimated, and feel free to use a range on these. So this is not an exact science. So typically we'll go plus or minus 10 pounds on working sets. That means that this could start at 115 and work all the way up to 135. If you get to 135 and it's still way too easy, feel free to add a little bit of weight as you go through these first couple of weeks, especially if you're doing something like a machine. You'll definitely need to feel out the prescription weight and make changes as you need to, but this will give you the best chance to adjust that weight. On your 3rd week, you'll have a rep out set, so do as many reps as possible before you reach technical failure, and then we'll use that to estimate your next max for the block 2. Just make sure if you are adjusting the weights, just look at these percentages at the top. So week 1 is at 60%, week 2, 67.5%, and so on. So you want to be about in that range. If you don't really know what that means and you don't have a gauge for that, you can use an RPE, so a 1 to 10 scale. Think about it being 5 or 6 out of 10, right? So it should be difficult, but you shouldn't be grinding out reps. But it also shouldn't feel like there's no weight at all. So once you complete week 3 on each day, make sure you write down your reps so you don't forget. You'll come back into the Start Here page, and you just want to put in the number of reps that you got. So let's say on my seated bench, day 1, I got 15. My squat, I did 12. My overhead press, or whatever vertical press you did, maybe you just got 10. And my deadlift, I did 15. So now this has readjusted your maxes. So when you look up here, all your maxes will have changed, and that will be reflected on block 2. So you can see all the blocks here down at the bottom. Go and click on over to block 2. All your numbers will be updated based on that new max. So if you did change your exercises, make sure you go back in and readjust those so that they reflect the same ones. I didn't make those carry across from block 1 so that you have the ability to change them if you need to, but it's really not recommended. So if you go ahead and click over to block 3 or block 4, you'll notice that there's errors in all of these cells where there's supposed to be weights. Now that's because you haven't done those yet and you haven't entered in the reps here. So let's just say you did another 10 all the way across. Your numbers are going to be updated again. And if you are not getting enough reps to adjust up, the max will go down. And if you're getting too many, it will go up, right? So if I do 20 reps, my max is going to go up, whereas if I do 5, it's not going to. And this all depends on what the block is, right? So 1 is 10s, 2 is 8s, right up here. Block 3 is 5s, and block 4 is 3s. Okay, so that is the goal rep once you get to each day, each block. As always, if you have any questions, feel free to reach out. You can use this help tab, link to the Substack post, video on how you use the sheet, any exercise terminology. If you want to send me a Twitter DM, you can do that here, or send me an email. If you want to look through other programs on the archive, just click that link, and happy training.